Hi, Brian. It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
I just wanted to talk and see how you're doing with everything going on with COVID. I know there's a lot going on and it can be really tough. It's tough for everyone all around. And I just want to see how you are doing during this trying time.
Well, COVID has been around about almost 5 or 6 months now. So we're not the state isn't shut down. So as I guess that's a plus or a minus depending on who you're talking to. So I'm just taking it day by day. Really, it's changes every day. Every day the numbers are going up, especially in the area I live, Dallas, Fort Worth area. So Tarrant and Dallas County are the two biggest counties in Texas that has the biggest numbers.
Yeah, that's
So
that's a really good approach that you're taking day by day. It can be really scary with all those numbers rising and the not knowing what's going to happen, if they're going to keep rising, if they're going to go down. It can be really tough. So, how are you handling that fear, the numbers, the worry?
well, it's just it's just me, it's my wife, and my three kids, my three boys. My youngest, he's what 2.5 months now. He was born in May during the pandemic, so I had to worry about, uh, you know, being in at first. Just going back, they was telling us that the you wouldn't no one would be able to go to the hospital with the wife or girlfriend, whoever it is having the baby. No one, not the husband, not the boyfriend, not the mother or the grandfather, nobody. So, I was dealing with that for the longest, and I was trying to help her through it. Every time she would turn around, they keep saying that you can't go, and I said, well, I understand. Um, I understand that. I can't go in there and just go crazy, Rambo. I mean that's not going to help the situation. So I said now if you able to record or something like that, we could go that route. But eventually, I was able to go to the doctor, go to the hospital with her, uh, and uh, had to kind of go through pretty much her in the hospital. How the nurses there, I felt like they were trying to kill her. To be honest, the lady in there, they gave her not an epidural. They gave her this medicine. It's called pitocin that opens you up pretty much, makes you dilate unnaturally. So, and then they end up giving her a drug. I told her that they gave you some alcohol or something because she was drunk. Because that's the way she was acting. She said that the ceiling was so close. It was. I remember that. I always mess with her about that. But and then after then she was saying that they need to do something, 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 and then next the baby's head popped out. I was like, oh, the baby's head. And the lady had her back turned, the nurse, um, and I was like, oh, the baby's here. Then she pressed the button or whatever, and then these nurses came in and put him out. But she was hemorrhaging, and they they didn't even pay attention to that. So what happened was they broke the what's it's called when you cut the thing. Uh, not the the placenta ended up getting stuck inside of her, but the cord, the umbilical cord, they cut it wrong, and when her doctor eventually showed up and tried to get it out, but the cord broke. So they had to take her to the back and do whatever they could to get it out. So that was a long, like 30 minutes, hour or so. I'm just holding the baby, not knowing if she would come back. So that was that was a tough thing to go through. And that was just that. We go upstairs, it's even worse. The lady is just telling her because we breastfeed, and she was just telling her that the baby they do a sugar test, and the baby's sugar is supposed to be at like 50, but the first time he took the test, it was high. It was like 70 or something like that. The next time it was 45. So well, one of the ladies that took it was like, oh, okay, 45 is it's not bad, So just on the next one, it just needs to be above 50. So the next one it was like 55 or something like that, and they had to do it like it had to be like three in a row, and then it was 70, and then because the lady kept coming to her saying, okay, well here goes some formula. Um, she was trying to convince her to give the baby formula. I'm like, no, we were going to breastfeed the child. Well, the sugar, and she tried to guilt her into doing it. And I said, no, no, we're going to breastfeed. We breastfeed all the children we got. We know what we're doing, this and that. I said, but if you want to, you can leave it over there in the corner, in the counter. If we want to use it, we'll get it. And then she took. Then she finally gave him, the last test. Like, oh, whew, I was said we wasn't. No, we know what it is. We know we this is not our first rodeo. So just the whole hospital stay was just terrible.
Yeah, that sounds terrible. It sounds like honestly a very horrifying experience. You don't know if you're able to go in with her, so that's already very tough for both of you on both your ends. I mean, I'm sure you wanted to go in with her and she wanted you to be there, and to
Mm-hmm.
think that you weren't going to be able to be there for her and with her and for the birth of your
Mm-hmm.
baby, I'm sure it was incredibly tough. And then you actually get there, and it seems like no one's really paying attention to her and what they're supposed to be doing, and they're doing everything wrong at each step
Mm-hmm.
of the way. And it's like you're worried, do they know what they're doing? And in this moment you can't question them. You can't be like, okay, are you really the right people to be delivering my baby and handling my
Mm-hmm.
wife? Because it's happening, it's in the
Yeah,
moment.
this is here.
Yeah,
Gotta put it in your hands.
yeah. And to hear that they did honestly such a terrible job with keeping you informed and helping your wife. She was hemorrhaging and they didn't notice, and they did the umbilical cord wrong. And I'm sure it was extremely terrifying being there and waiting to hear back if she was okay and how it was going to
Mm-hmm.
be. And this is like on top of everything else going on top of you have a new baby, on top of you're in the hospital and all this COVID stuff is going on while you're there. You now have to worry about your wife and putting her in the hands of the people that did that to her.
Mm-hmm.
And it just sounds like an awful experience. But there was something good that came out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And my
how
son, yeah. So he's nicer than my other son, the one that came before him. He actually let me hold him. These that it took my junior. It took him like 3-4 months before he wanted to be around me. I said, okay, you a little different. You like me a little bit. So I kind of enjoy that because when they left out in the room, he was with me. Like she didn't get the chance to hold him. I held him. So I'm holding him, and I'm just sitting there like, damn, I don't even know what. And I'm pretty sure he's hungry. your meal just left. So it was just a lot of things that's going on. That was probably the biggest issue that I faced during the pandemic. I'm a teacher, so we was teaching online, so that helped with a check coming in because we was like, oh, we still gonna get paid? Do we need to go find us a job or file for unemployment, or what do we do? So I think all the teachers around, all the school districts around said, okay, we're gonna continue to pay you guys. You still gonna have to work, but you just got to do it from home. So that I didn't face any financial issues. Plus they gave us not COVID check, stimulus check. So so they that helped. They saying they're gonna pass another one. I'm gonna say it like I said the last one. Well, we'll see when my bank account says that shows that blue mark instead of red. So, uh, that was like I say, I didn't face anything that was financial. It was now for a time I was the only one going to the store, so I would go with my mask. Well, at first I didn't have a mask. I was just going because I didn't really believe this stuff was really is what it is. Because I didn't have a mask. Luckily I never contracted anything. But I didn't have a mask, and I was going to the stores. But she was like, "No, go put your mask on," and this and that. I won't do that. I'm getting tired. Now it's like, do I got my mask? Step out the car. I don't have it on. Go back in the car, put it on. It's just a habit now. But at first I was like, man, this crap ain't real. This ain't real. But I mean, I'll take this extra vacation I'm getting. We'll be back in April because we went out of school the second week of March and didn't come back. So I was like, okay, well, at first I was like, okay, we're gonna have school what April, middle of April, maybe May. We don't have to do, I teach PE and help, so I got it easy anyway. For the most part. So I just, but I can say the good things that happen now is just that I got time to spend with my family, my kids. Going to work, going to school, coaching. I didn't have as much time as I would like. Writing papers, lesson plans, practice. Didn't really have a lot of time, so I got a chance now to kind of see my kids and their personalities and how they're growing up, and they get a chance to see me a lot more. So I think that's the plus with this virus.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad things about it, but it has allowed us to grow closer to our family and the people that we're with. And I mean, there is, as far as I'm aware, there is no like leave of absence for fathers for like extended periods of time.
Mm-mm.
So this allowed you to be with your newborn baby. And it's kind of crazy that something like this would have such a positive impact in your life, but it has, because it's allowed you to spend time with your kids, your wife, and your newborn baby. And you haven't suffered any financial crisis because of the fact that you still got to keep your job and you were a teacher, which is great. You didn't really have to do those I mean, there's still the worries, but there's not the worry of how am I going to feed my family, how am I going to feed my kids, and instead it was I get to spend time with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then this is what it is. I started cooking a lot more. Just making different things. Like I made a Philly cheesesteak for the first time, pretty good. I had to buy some better knives since then because I couldn't cut the meat up the way I wanted to, and uh, then I made chicken enchiladas. So I done made that 2 or 3 times since then. Uh, Chicken Phillies, chicken burgers made straight from chicken breast. Uh,
You're going to make me hungry.
I understand. So, I was just like, I don't, I mean, I can't go to these places like I want to. So let me just learn how to do it. I don't have nothing but time anyway. So let me just start learning how to do these things. Bought a barbecue grill, started grilling, just doing different things that, just to help pass the time and, just not focus on the craziness that's outside your door.
Yeah. And that's really good. You learned these new things and you learned these new recipes, and you're able to do these things that you're going to be able to do hopefully once all this is over. It's
Mm-hmm.
something that you will be able to cherish these moments, and you'll be able to go out and grill with your family and do these new recipes that you have been doing and you've been learning. And you've learned so much more about your kids, and it's just going to keep going with once this pandemic is over, once we're able to relax a little bit more, though it might take some time. You're going to be
Mm-hmm.
able to continue these hobbies that you've developed because of this pandemic.
Yep.
That's really good.
Yeah. Because I mean, you got a few options. You can try to thrive in the midst of this craziness, or you can go crazy along with this stuff and come out worse than you came in. I mean, and I refuse to let this, just mess me up, mess up my thinking, mess up what I have going, and mess with my mental in a way that I can't come back from.
It's a very strong to have.
I try.
So we've talked about a lot of things today, and it sounds like overall you are thriving during this pandemic, than struggling to survive. You are, even though it was tough, you had a bit of time there where you weren't sure how things were going to go with your wife and your kid and with work, because I know that was up in the air for a while, but it
Mm-hmm.
eventually all worked itself out. And
Mm-hmm.
not only was your wife okay, you have a beautiful baby boy now too. You get to spend
Mm-hmm.
time with your family. You've learned all these new hobbies. You still have your work,
Mm-hmm.
and you are doing very well in your life during this incredibly tough time. That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else you wanted to say before we ended the session?
Um, no, just thank you for letting me talk.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming in. And next time we'll talk a bit more about some of the hobbies that you've developed.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.